Hello my friends, David here. We're in Destiny and today I'm going to be experimenting with a highly debated perk on sniper rifles, Unflinching. Some reliable sources say Unflinching does nothing, some say it does something. The questions I have today are, does Unflinching reduce the distance the reticule moves away from the center when shot? And does Unflinching reduce the time it takes for the reticule to return to the center? And as an opinion, is Unflinching worth having over other perks? I set up my experiment using two of the exact same Her Benevolence sniper rifles. Each one rolled exactly the same except for the final perk, Unflinching. I then went into Rumble with a friend and hid in a corner. He shot me at a rate of one shot every 2 seconds from the same angle at the same position. I learned in some preliminary experiments that your flinch changes depending on where you were shot, so I wanted to control that variable as much as possible. He shot me 20 times with the same weapon on each sniper rifle. We tested flinch with the Vision of Confluence, Suros Regime, and the Mida multi-tool. I then examined the footage frame by frame in Sony Vegas and Photoshop. I averaged the distance the reticule moved from the center for each weapon and compiled it into the data you will see throughout. The first thing you are seeing are my tests with the Vision of Confluence. I know you can't really see much, but I'll freeze frame a few screenshots so you can see what's really going on. One of the first frames after being shot shows the position of the original reticule and the furthest away the reticule will travel. This made it very easy to compare the samples. Unflinching quite clearly reduces the maximum distance the reticule moves away. This is consistent reduction across every single shot from the Vision of Confluence. After measuring the distances across my samples, I found that Unflinching reduces flinch from Vision of Confluence fire by about 35% on average. Pretty significant. The same test was done on the Mida multi-tool, and flinch was reduced by about 35% as well. The flinch patterns were very similar to the Vision of Confluence. However, I didn't include a few really strange outliers. When the Mida brought my health down to a tiny amount, my reticule flinched insanely, as you can see in these screenshots. However, with Unflinching on, the flinch from that was significantly lower. I didn't do too much testing on this extreme flinch in particular, but it was definitely an unexpected observation. The Suros was tested in the same manner as the others. Once again, about a 35 reduction in flinch. My conclusion from these tests is that Unflinching does reduce the maximum distance your reticule sways from the center from single fire weapons by about 35% on average. So, when using Unflinching, you can expect a reduction in flinch. However, as you guys should have seen throughout all the clips I showed in their side-by-side comparisons, the reticule will return to the center at the same rate, regardless of whether you have Unflinching equipped or not. Just to illustrate that once again, I'll show this clip of the Mida where one goes insanely far away while the other does not. They both return to the center at the same time. Yet, because Unflinching reduces flinch, your reticule is always closer to your target than without Unflinching. This will arguably make your shots more accurate even though the reticule returns to normalcy at the same speed. So, I've answered my first two questions. However, is Unflinching worth using based on these findings? That is honestly a very difficult question to answer, because in-game, I'm not being hit at a rate of one shot every 2 seconds. I'm being ravaged by pulse rifles and hand cannons, and I'm jumping, strafing, getting hit by grenades. You get the idea. Additionally, when getting hit by rapid fire, flinch drastically increases. So landing shots under fire is incredibly difficult. A single shot from an auto rifle is enough to make you sway like crazy. So many shots would make aiming nearly impossible. If your perfect weapon roll included Unflinching and you just ran out of motes or weapon parts, I wouldn't stress too much about it. Unflinching appears to have little effect in the grand scheme of things. Yet, when taking a look at the other perks available, in a PvP environment, the only viable perks would be Grenadier or Performance Bonus. Even then, Grenadier is very situational, while Performance Bonus is unnecessary, with the high amount of special ammo available on maps. In the end, I would still choose Unflinching over the others, even if it's just for the placebo knowledge that I'm being flinched less when shot. After doing these tests, I do have a few questions that are unanswered. How does unflinching fare against pulse rifles, which shoot very rapidly? How does unflinching affect the flinch from damage over time, like Sunslinger grenades or Thorn? How does unflinching affect explosives? So many questions that I may personally revisit in the future, but for now, I hope my findings and the new questions I propose can satisfy a community that is constantly searching for answers. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.